Okay, when my computer loads, here we go. There we go. Today I will be recording for 2 days because it's the same lesson. Oops. So it's Monday the 7th, which is today, if it's an even day, or Tuesday the 8th, if it's an odd day. Now there's a small difference between the recording, the lessons, and it's the bell work. So today, for the even class, second hour, you have a bell work video that you need to watch. Then you need to open up your Lit Circle slides, slide 6, and answer question 4. Okay, that's for that 20-minute period. For the other class, and that's for 7th hour tomorrow too. That 20-minute period, your bell work is a video about characterization, and then you need to open up your Lit Circle work, slide 6, number 4. Okay. Normally I'd be walking you through all of this, but I'm using my computer at home and it's not being very nice. So, for the main lesson for the 7th or the 8th, the bell work is slightly different. So if you haven't done Mal yet, you can see this is not working that great. For the 7th, your bell work was Mal, which my other class did last week. And for the 8th, your bell work is Retro. Okay, so you can see your bell work right here. Number 4 for the bell work is a little different. Let me zoom in. Number 4, I usually give you a picture, and then you have to figure out what the mystery word is. This time, you're going to give me a picture, or your classmates, and we need to figure out the mystery word. So that's a little different for bell work, okay? Everything else is exactly the same. For the main lesson, you're going to open up the Bully text. It's located in Google Classroom. Okay, it looks like this. We are going to be reading 3 short stories and watching the films to go along with them. We are also going to be citing evidence, analyzing and contrasting the different points of view of the characters, summarizing text to showcase the theme, and like I said, comparing and contrasting a written story to the film version. So what we did today, as far as we got today, is we listened to the story, so I read it out loud for our first read. So what I want you to do is click on this right here, and then a YouTube video will pop up of me reading the text or the short story. Go ahead, push pause, and go ahead and listen to the story. After you've listened to the story, I asked the students to just tell me what it was about. So tell me a brief little, not even a paragraph, just a couple sentences to sum up what the story was about. And that was for us to just do a first read to check for understanding. Okay, so thank you for telling me what the story was about. So now you're going to notice I have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the text. And that is because we are going to be filling this bottom part out. 1, I did it together. And like I said, I was kind of having trouble with my keyboard here, so I'm going to have to just explain to you what I did. And then that's as far as we got today, was this top part. You can see it's in red already. And then the other numbers are going to be assigned for groups for a breakout session to do inferencing. But you don't know how to do it yet. So what I did is for number 1, we talked about making an inference from the first paragraph. So it says, I infer that the time of the day was. So let's go back to that first paragraph. I walked into the Huddle House restaurant in Brunswick, Georgia, and sat down at the counter as all the booths were taken. I picked up a menu and began to look at the various items, trying to decide if I wanted to order breakfast or just go ahead and eat lunch. So, what do we think the time of the day is based on... Oh, my keyboard doesn't work. This last sentence right here, with trying to decide. It's not working. I picked up the menu and began to look at the various items, trying to decide if I wanted to order breakfast or just go ahead and eat lunch. So what time of the day do you think it is? If I should order breakfast or go ahead and eat lunch. So we said, and you need to type this up as I type it up, I inferred that the time of the day was close to lunch, but still breakfast. Some kids even said, oh, I think the time of the day is 11. If you want to draw that as your conclusion, you can write that down as your inference. So now we went back and we said, okay, what evidence in the text did we say fits that? So in the text it says, and if we were to scroll up to that first paragraph, trying to decide if I wanted to order breakfast or just go ahead and eat lunch. I inferred the time of the day was close to lunch, but still breakfast. Actually, I don't even need that breakfast part. Sounds weird. Our evidence is saying that that's what's going to go in this third column. So I inferred that the time of the day was close to lunch. In the text it says, trying to decide if I wanted to go ahead and order breakfast or just go ahead and eat lunch. So what does this all mean? We will be analyzing pretty much every detail in this text before we watch the film, so that when we come to the film, we'll have enough knowledge of the text that we can make that true comparison. So what is this saying? And I know it's something very simple to make an inference on, but it is important because when you go to watch the film, you're going to ask yourself, does it appear to be late morning, early lunch in the film, or does it not? So this evidence shows the character is trying to figure out what to eat, and his options are between breakfast and lunch, which indicates it's probably late morning or early lunch. Okay, so then what we did together is I asked the students, is there another piece of evidence in this text that also relates to maybe it being almost lunchtime, but still breakfast time? And we decided right here, and I can't highlight it because my keyboard's not working. We decided right here. I finally decided to order breakfast and a cup of decaffeinated coffee. So we said, what is decaffeinated coffee? Coffee that is not caffeinated, okay, does not have caffeine in it. So we were thinking, why would this guy order coffee that doesn't have caffeine in it? So maybe that has something to do with the time of the day, possibly. So another piece of evidence to support this inference is the text where it says, I finally decided to order breakfast and a cup of decaffeinated coffee. Well, what does this mean? That goes into this next column. This evidence shows that he ordered breakfast, but maybe he did not need the caffeine to wake up, or because it was too late in the day. Some people don't drink caffeine in the afternoon because it will keep them awake. So what I want to show you what we did is we took this one little paragraph and we analyzed it and we pulled out pieces of setting, mostly the time. Although somebody else in class did say, well, it isn't a restaurant. So that is another piece of setting. And then we could even, if we wanted to analyze the restaurant part, we could even further. So if we scroll back down, we have one inference, we have two pieces of evidence, and two analyses that go with our evidence. So that's as far as we got in class today. One of the classes got as far as connecting with the character, but what we'll get to the next time I see you in a full session is having you go into your groups and being assigned a number that's in yellow above and doing the same thing that I did together today in class. So you want your screen to be completed with this. I will also put a model right next to the work that you have in classroom so you can see the red of what we do in class if you miss it. So I would pause this right now and I would make sure this bottom part is complete so you're ready for the next class. If you have any questions, just email me.